newscast is brought to you by the Belizean Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, October 26th. I am Sabrina Daly. The Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital is facing extremely difficult times as the National Referral Facility. Employees are dissatisfied with existing working conditions. There is also a severe lack of basic supplies, as well as a constant stream of resignation by nurses and doctors on staff. It all came to a head this morning when the KHMH Workers Union convened a press conference to air out the management of the hospital, as well as the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The executive of the labor organization laid bare the situation at hand, and while some of it is being described as exaggerated, a grim picture is being painted about the services being offered at the hospital. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
It takes me 5 minutes or so to get a vein, administer the IV therapy. On one particular shift, I timed on my phone. It took me 25 minutes to gather equipment to start an IV on a bleeding gunshot patient. 25 minutes. At 25 minutes, I could have already put a Foley catheter, administered oxygen, give an LG6, attach a cardiac monitor, get an EKG, control bleeding. But 25 minutes.
The situation at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital is dire.
If we have to resuscitate, and for the people who do not understand what is resuscitate, when we do CPR, we have one bag where we use to breathe air into the person. There are different sizes. There are adults, there are neonates, there are pediatrics. But at this time, we have to use a pediatric for an adult to resuscitate an adult. That's death.
The National Referral Facility is teetering on the verge of collapse, where the delivery of primary health care service is concerned.
The patient, the users of the institution, continue to suffer. The staff of the institution is being asked to carry water in basket. This cannot continue. We will stand no more in silence, and these needs and concerns of the KHMH must be addressed now. People will die. The politicians cannot continue to play politics with the lives of a Belizean citizen. There is a failure in the health system that needs to be addressed.
The breakdown, according to KHMH Workers Union, is the result of complete disregard by the present administration. That responsibility is being placed squarely at the feet of the political directorate, as well as the KHMH authority.
$76 million could have afforded us a CT scan, new brand, not refurbished. At this time, we would have already have it in-house. And to correct all the ills that we have with our supply chains and stuff. $76 million could have seen more people receiving dialysis treatment. $76 million could have refurbished the leaking roof in the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital.
The figure being emphasized is the dollar amount that the Brissender administration has agreed to compensate the principals of Belize International Services Limited, roughly 9 years after the company was compulsorily acquired by the previous government. The KHMH Workers Union contends that those monies could have been invested in the failing public health sector.
This is a cry for help. This is a cry for awareness to the public so that the public understands what is happening. It seems that in this country, the only way that you can get headway at times is to apply pressure to the system so that the system acts right, so that people can get the resources that they need to conduct their jobs.
But what exactly does the hospital staff need, besides a laundry list of essentials, including gloves, masks, and other basic items? As stated by the president of the Workers' Union, they are seeking a sense of worthiness.
There is a sense of unworthiness amongst the staff at Carl Huchner. There's a sense of don't want to come to work. There's a sense when we come to work, how am I going to do my job? In accordance with the labor law, an employer must provide material for the employee to work. If we can have simple things like gloves to work, how do they expect our performance?
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
This morning's media brief held by the KHMH Workers Union caught the management of the hospital flat-footed. Notwithstanding a cordial relationship with the union, Chief Executive Officer Chandra Cancino expressed her dismay with the approach that has been taken. Nonetheless, she does admit that there have been serious challenges where operational expenses are concerned.
We were caught blindsided by these actions, and so that is quite disappointing to me, because the last discussion the President and I had was that we want to maintain an open communication and ensure that we are both aware of things that are going on, either from the management side or from the union side. That said, the union has every right as a union to meet and to discuss the issues of concern to them. And as you all know, I think this has been going on from, well, COVID only multiplied everything. We've been struggling with the issuance of supplies. The institution, or Carl Huchner, has been doing everything we possibly can. And I think we had discussed this in a previous interview, and I had explained that when we don't get our items that are tendered through the ministry, we make every effort to purchase those items for Carl Huchner. This is how it works, right? I mean, we get a subvention from the ministry every month. It's about $2.4 million. Of that, about 2.1, it depends on the month, goes straight to pay salaries. So what we are left with is a very small amount of money for the operations. However, as an authority, we are also obligated to access our own resources, which is what we do by billing, by collections, to try to get the money that we need to run the hospital.
According to CEO Cancino, the hospital has had to rely on the good graces of its suppliers to make available pharmaceuticals, as well as basic items using line of credit. The supply crisis, she says, is not an issue that is unique to Belize. Nevertheless, a lack of essential resources threatens the well-being of patients seeking medical attention from the KHMH.
We are grateful to our suppliers who give us credit lines, and we go as we go along, and we have suppliers that work with us. So we purchase these items. Not all the time we get enough notice to know, well, this is the last that we will give you of this item. So we do run into situations where items run out before we purchase. So that, and I guess that's what the district hospitals would encounter as well. When we do know and we do find the items here in the country, we purchase them. Again, a lot of these items are imported into the country by these, tenderers and suppliers, and so they're not easily available. Some of the medications, you need them, special licenses, etc. So they're not easily available. Oftentimes, we reach out to our partners, other district hospitals. You have any of this? Lend with that. The patient need this. Even the private institutions, they are extremely supportive and assist us where possible. So that is what we've been doing. I know for sure that over the past week, last week actually, and this week, we have been receiving a lot more supplies. So it seems that waiting period for this bulk of supplies that we have been waiting for is now coming to an end. So I guess that would be the light, or the silver lining on the cloud.
Earlier today, Minister of Health and Wellness Kevin Bernard also weighed in on the situation at the KHMH, including concerns about pension and other benefits for members of staff. Minister Bernard acknowledges the fact that a letter was written to himself and Prime Minister Briceño by the KHMH Workers Union. Several of the requests being made, however, can only be addressed by the Ministry of Finance.
The people at the union did write the Prime Minister and myself sometime in September. We were in the middle of September celebrations, activities. Right after I traveled to the World Health Power Conference, I did say to the union representative, who also, by the way, is a member of the KHMH board. Okay. And part of their complaint is that the board is not listening. So I find it very, very ironic to be sitting on the board, yet the board is not listening. But let me say this. I have never shied away or shunned anybody away from wanting to meet with anyone. I said to them, I'm prepared. In fact, let me say this, and for the record, we had scheduled at 4 o'clock Monday a Zoom meeting, because I told them I would not have been able to do the face-to-face at that in this specific week, but can we do the Zoom? I'm prepared to do the Zoom meeting. 9:30 in the morning, I got an agenda item. One, I could have addressed immediately the issue of the medication concerns and supplies that they are talking about. But on the agenda, they have some other things that I believe needs the input of the Ministry of Finance and other people that has the pensions, the issue of income tax. I cannot go there and make decisions on my own unilaterally. I have to consult. I have to be able to have the people that have that responsibility to be able to sit down. It's similar to what we did with the nurses when we went and we had to involve labor, we had to involve Ministry of Finance, because the Ministry of Health cannot make those decisions on its own. And so there are things I believe that they have been requesting, they want to request. They have all rights to have their press conference. I have nothing against that.
There are similar concerns being raised regarding the tendering and procurement of pharmaceutical supplies. A list of various items was recited to the Minister of Health and Wellness this morning. And while he could not confirm the availability of those prescribed drugs, he gave assurances that come next year, the tendering cycle will not see the kind of logistical challenges be faced presently.
I will not be able to tell you offhand the list of what you got, where you got it from, I don't know. But I can tell you that I'm not denying the fact that there are medications that are still coming into country, and these are being supplied, and as in fact, like I said, thousands upon thousands of dollars of shipments have been in fact coming into country today by another supplier, which one of the major suppliers that also distribute some of these items. So as they come in, they have to be inspected. Our drug inspectorate has been tasked that they need to ensure as well the timeline that they take to do these inspections has to be improved, and so that we can get these items out to the regions, out to KHMH, out to the facilities. I came into this ministry and at a tender cycle that had gone through a perfect storm, and I am saying that we have understood that cycle, and we are making sure we're making amends to improve for the next cycle, so that we do not have to come back next year with the same issue. I guarantee the Belizean people that next year, when it comes to the new tender cycle, you're not going to have this discussion once again.
Coming up, UDP recall team challenges chairman's decision to reject petition.
Game one of the IBL playoffs lived up to its billing. Tough Enough Tours and Belize Coast Guard both drew fresh blood. And now, the Belize Water Service and Central Health Customs teams must go back to the drawing board and make the necessary adjustments for Game 2. It's the Benny's Inter-Office Basketball League semifinals. Game 2 in the best-of-3 series. Winner go back to your office for the BWS and the Central Health Customs squads. Who will force a decisive Game 3? Who will advance to the grand finale? Who will draw one step closer and bling the championship ring? The semifinals is now moving to the Belize Civic Center this Friday night, October 28th at 7:30 p.m. for Game 2 in the best-of-3 series. Game 1 will feature the Tough Enough team on a mission led by Francis Arana and Ian Rennie, seeking to advance to the big dance. Will the BWS force a decisive game 3? Or will the Tough Enough Tours bury them deep into the ocean? Game 2 of the night will be on the floor. Bring out the entire family this Friday night, 7:30 p.m. at the Belize Civic Center for Game 2 of the Best of 3 series. Just another level! Sponsors: Resinas Imports, D&W Supermarket, Mahib's Wholesale, Barefoot Hotel, Cabana Used Clothing, Midway Wholesale, Mirage Belize, Car Guys, Aris Import, Prestige Auto Sales, Cellular World, Fashion Store, VIP Wireless, Nando's Wholesale, Penny's Home Center, Crystal Water, Sprite, Powerade, Travelers, Channel 5 and Channel 7, Rem, Wave, Love FM and More FM. Let's get it on!
My parents always said, when it's time to build, invest in quality products that last a lifetime, even if it means paying a little more. It is now my turn to invest in my own home, and it's not even a question. It has to be Oran Windows. My contractor recommends Oran because of the heavy-duty construction, the thickest gauge blades on the market, and the dual locks that allow lower louvers to close independently for privacy while the top remains open for airflow. These features make Oran aluminum louver windows the best on the market.
With Oran aluminum louver windows, you get strength, durability, and beauty with an added layer of security and protection against debris and damaging winds. Come in and check out the variety of sizes and colors at Design Depot, located at Mile 3 Philip Goldson Highway in Belize City.
You have been a safe driver all your life when an unavoidable accident happens. But this does not mean that your insurance premium must increase. With RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, safe drivers will not lose their no-claims discounts because of those minor, unavoidable accidents. For more information on RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, contact us at 223-5734. When it comes to motor insurance, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
My name is Leah Espinal. I am in Standard 6 and I attend Saddle Rock Christian Academy. Drivers should obey all safety rules. It doesn't matter if in a driver's opinion the rules are good, bad, fair or unfair. They should be followed and respected. If we don't follow them, we are not only putting ourselves at risk, but other innocent people as well. Precious lives can be preserved on the road by being responsible, being alert, buckling up, and obeying safety rules.
The monies will be used to fix classroom buildings, to paint the buildings as well in and outside of the classrooms.
I would like to thank BEL for reminding us that we need to learn about road safety and that everyone's life counts.
The UDP recall team, headed by Vice Chair Alberto August, called a press conference today to challenge the decision of Chairman Michael Perifete to declare that a threshold has not been met to trigger a recall of the party's leadership. August shared that he is of the view that the faction that wants their leader, Shine Barrow, recalled, submitted more than sufficient valid signatures. He made reference to the UDP constitution that provides the process for the removal of a UDP leader.
At Article 9.7, under the heading Recall of the Leader, the Constitution says, the leader may at any time be removed from the office of the leader, of the party leader. Listen carefully now. Following a petition for his or her removal, signed by at least 1/3 of the registered delegates to the National Convention. Subsequent to that, it goes to a vote of at least 2/3 of the registered delegates in attendance voting in favor of the petition. On Friday last, we presented that petition to the Secretary General for the verification of 200 signatures, well above the constitutional requirement. In fact, we heard on the news last evening when none other than the national chairperson of the party informed the nation that the signatures were intact and that he does not believe that the vice chairperson would present fake, bogus, or forged signatures for verification. After conducting the verifications of names and signatures, the response from the national chairperson indicates 9 signatures of legitimate concern. 4 signatures, he wrote, were of persons who he says are alternate delegates, therefore unauthorized to sign the petition. Secondly, he said that 3 signatures were from persons who did not appear on the list of delegates. And thirdly, there were 2 persons, he said, who had resigned. While we might be inclined to concede the first 4 signatures, we can most certainly challenge the other 5. But let's say, for example, in order to make a long process shorter, we concede all 9 of those signatures. That is going to leave 191 valid signatures, which is more than enough to constitutionally trigger a recall.
The recall project, as it is dubbed, may very well land in front of a Supreme Court judge. So flanking August's side at the head table was attorney Norman Rodriguez, who explained that the process of handling a petition within the UDP is the same as with an election when voting closes.
The chairman counts the ballots and he declares the results. He must count the ballots in the exact way he receives them. And he must also declare the results based on the way he counted those ballots. Delegates do not have the opportunity to cancel or retract any of those petitions once they are delivered to the chairman. It is like a normal election process. Once you go to the polls and vote, and the polls close at 6 or 7, you cannot go back to the returning officer and say, I want to take back my ballots. So that is the simple process.
In sharp contrast to reports that some of the signatories were coerced or conned into attaching their names without being properly briefed of the specific purpose of the petition, August said that while not all the pages might have included a heading, each person was shown and read the heading. He explained that the UDP Constitution does not specify that the heading must be included on each sheet of paper signed. August also vehemently denied any report that they duped the signatories into signing the petition. He said that it is interesting to hear that signatories are now second-guessing signing the petition. At the end of the day, August said that the faction is of the view that the UDP chairman has acted unilaterally, and the matter could very well end up in court.
Nothing could be further from the truth. Every single set of petitions that went out had almost 2 pages of information in terms as to why these people were signing this petition. Just like the national laws of this country, in terms of the recall of an elected member of the House of Representatives, you are not required to give any reason. But for this purpose, we gave 6 reasons to the delegates as to why the party leader is supposed to be recalled. And in terms of our meetings with them, we read that to them. We gave them the petition for them to read and sign. Now, Of course, you know, I have the heading panel of the pages, because the 2 pages, so you had the attachments to it, and some of them signed on the 3rd page. You might not have had the heading, but the entire document include 2 pages of information, although all we could have said was that you're signing to recall the party leader, but we gave them 6 reasons as to why the party leader should be recalled. Or there's barely any, I should say, accusation that people did not know what they were signing. The allegation coming out of them is that they are retracting their signature. In other words, they are having a change of heart. It's like the legal counsel said. They will have an opportunity to change their mind if they want to, but this is not the process for that. We are in a position where the national chairperson of the party is taking a unilateral decision on this matter. We have requested for him, while he's the national chairperson of the party, he is not the legal advisor of the party. We have requested for him to seek the advice of the legal advisor of the party, and he's refusing to do so. So he's taking this matter on a unilateral stance. We're asking him, he is telling us that the opinion of the legal advisor will be just that, a legal opinion. But his opinion is also an opinion too.
While the factions within the UDP that are at war accuse each other of not trying to unite, it seems that won't be coming together anytime soon. Even Deputy Leader Ugo Pat told News 5 today that the party is in a mess. Pat shared his view that there will be a time and a place to select a new leader of the party if the masses are not pleased with the current leader. But that now is not the time for that process. He also said that he thinks Collet Area Representative Patrick Fauber should be reinstated on the party's Central Executive Committee since he has removed all his Facebook posts that were in breach of the party's constitution, the ones where he blasted the current leadership of the party.
It is a sad state of affairs in the UDP. I particularly am not one who likes to comment on these things, but one thing that I don't do is fight with my own party. At this point in time, I don't think that we will have any form of unity in the short term, precisely because we cannot agree. And so until the day that we come into terms and say, look, let us agree to disagree, then we will see a change. But at this point in time, Marion, I don't think we're at that. If you were to ask me, I think we want to fight within ourselves. That's my take on this. We just elected a leader. There will be a time when a convention will come, and then you allow those delegates to select a leader and select a leadership. When that happens, respect the decision of those who voted. At this point in time, I don't think that we should be having any kind of recall. We will have a convention next year, so give it some time. Prepare whatever you have to prepare, so that when the time comes for that convention, then whichever candidate wants to put his or her name in, then you have that person coming in, and of course it's going to be an open convention where those people will be allowed to campaign to the different delegates, and whoever does a better job, then that person becomes the new leader of the UDP. Mr. Fauber is the longest serving era rep of the UDP. And my respect goes to him, so that whatever position he needs to hold in the party, then I fully support that.
After the break, 2 persons, including Eruption nightclub manager, are charged in connection with the rape of a female minor. But first, here's the weather report.
And welcome to your weather report and forecast for tonight, Wednesday, October 26, from the National Meteorological Service. I am Ronald Gordon. Weather conditions continued mainly fair across most of the country today. As you can see from our latest radar imagery, most parts of the country are experiencing fair conditions, except for a few isolated showers or possible isolated thunderstorms up in the Maya Mountains. For tonight, we expect conditions to continue mainly fair across most of the country, except for those of you down south in Punta Gorda. As you normally expect, you have a higher chance of isolated showers. In terms of those minimum temperatures, tonight we're looking at about 72 Fahrenheit in Belmopan, 70 in San Ignacio, another 72 in Orange Walk. If you're along coastal parts of the country, however, it will be about 81 in San Pedro, 80 in Belize City, down to about 74 in Punta Gorda. What can we expect tomorrow? It will continue mostly sunny for most parts of the country. However, in the early morning, there is a chance for isolated showers to affect Belize City, San Pedro, Orange Walk, and also Curacao Town. Your high temperatures tomorrow will peak to about 92 in Belmopan, 94 out west in San Ignacio, and 93 in Orange Walk. Whereas if you're along coastal parts of the country tomorrow, it will be relatively cooler with about 86 in San Pedro, 87 in Belize City, and also Dangriga, Placencia, down to about 88 in Punta Gorda. Looking ahead for the next 4 days, we expect mainly fair conditions to continue on Thursday, on Friday, and most of Saturday. And we expect only a slight increase in showers on Saturday night into Sunday morning. In terms of the tropics, conditions remain quiet across most of the Gulf of Mexico, the northwestern and southwestern Caribbean Sea. However, we are looking at showers and thunderstorms across the eastern Caribbean Sea and also for some portions to the north of Puerto Rico. There's a medium chance that a system could develop in this area, but it will move generally to the north. Farther to the south, there are indications that a low pressure system will develop in this area that could drift towards the west during the next few days. We will monitor this system very closely and inform you of any development. In terms of our marine conditions, we're expecting those winds to be light at less than 10 knots tonight, through to tomorrow night, and out of the east to northeast, shifting more to the east tomorrow and tomorrow night. If you are planning to go to the Keys, you should have a relatively smooth boat ride with slight sea conditions for the next few days. The astronomical conditions, a high tide will occur at 4:37 tomorrow morning, a low at 10:51 also in the morning, a high at 4:16 tomorrow evening, and a low at 6 minutes past 10 tomorrow night. A beautiful sunrise can be expected at 5:49 in the morning, while the sun will set at 5:23 tomorrow evening. Your moon will rise at 7:56 in the morning and set at 7:20 tomorrow night. And that's your weather report and forecast from the National Meteorological Service. This weather report was sponsored by the National Climate Change Office through the UNDP project Climate Promise, from Pledge to Impact. And I am Ronald Gordon. Join us again on Friday for another weather report and forecast.
My lights, yeah. Go to my lights, go to my lights. You gotta go to my lights, yeah. I wanna shine, 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 shine. I hit my lights cause that's my plan, 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 plan. My lights have your favorite brand, 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 brand. Just come with nothing in your hands, 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 hands. My lights, and it goes on and on and on. It goes on and on and on, yeah. I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. My lights, I wanna celebrate with my lights, sing yeah, yo, baby let's go. We going to the store, but we gon' do right. We gon' light a life, only with my light. We going to the store, but we gon' do right. We gon' light a life, only with my light.
V-Bucks by Benny's, Belize's newest multi-brand rewards program. To access V-Bucks, download the mobile app or access the website portal at vbucks.bz and set up your account. If you already have a Benny's account, chances are you already have V-Bucks. Don't let them go to waste. To earn V-Bucks, make a purchase at any Benny's location or at any of these Benny's entities, namely Island Freight Forwarders, Best Manufacturing, Benquip, and B-Mart. Once V-Bucks are earned, reward yourself. Use V-Bucks to buy items or exchange for cash. You can also double, triple, or even quadruple your V-Bucks on promotional days. It is simple. Purchase, earn, redeem. Loyalty is always rewarding with B-Box. Brought to you by Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Caribbean International Brewery will not see the return of its seized $3 million anytime soon. In fact, the company will have to wait at least 3 months before the courts make a decision. That is because their attorney, former Prime Minister Dean Barrow, submitted an application to have the Supreme Court's opinion on certain aspects of the ongoing hearing. So what should have been a clear-cut case has now turned into a constitutional battle. And the urgency with which CIBL wanted its money returned is no longer a factor. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Senior Counsel Godfrey Smith, attorney for the Financial Intelligence Unit, and former Prime Minister Dean Barrow, attorney for Caribbean International Brewery Limited, returned to the Orange Walk Magistrates Court today. Magistrate Deborah Rogers delivered her determination on the admissibility of documents from the Belize Tax Service. The lower court judge ruled that she would allow the FIU to proceed with the evidence in their appeal.
What happened today was the magistrate gave a ruling. When we were here last week, Monday, we attempted to lead evidence from an inspector, Inspector Lopez, to show that there were tax evasion offenses. Knowing that once that evidence was led, the case is over for Caribbean International Brewery, their attorneys lodged an appeal. Sorry, not lodged an appeal, took an objection. The magistrate asked for written submissions on this, and she ruled on it today. Her decision was that you can actually lead this evidence.
Following her ruling, Senior Counsel Dean Barrow filed an application for a case stated to have Magistrate Rogers refer his challenges to the Supreme Court for its opinion. Barrow made his application on the grounds of unconstitutionality. While the magistrate has ruled that the FIU's application for further seizure was submitted in a timely manner, Barrow contends that his client's constitutional rights are being violated.
But even if you concede that the application was made within 72 hours, the structure of the section of the act under which the application is brought, the structure and meaning of the section is clear. It is not just that you have to make the application to continue the detention within 72 hours. You must get the order for the continued detention within 72 hours. The thing says plain, you can only hold the cash lawfully for 72 hours. So her determining that, no, as long as you make the order in time, I can take as long as is necessary before I give an order for continued detention. That violates the section of the Act, and if the section of the Act means what she says it means, that section of the Act has to be unconstitutional.
So, what does this constitutional challenge mean for the FIU's application, which is currently before Magistrate Rogers? Well, FIU's legal counsel has been given until Friday, November 4th to file an objection to Barrow's latest application. And even if the magistrate does not state a case, Barrow says he will file an application with the Supreme Court to oblige Magistrate Rogers to do so.
This matter will not be able to continue. As I have signaled to her, my learned friend said I was threatening her. No, I was making it plain that the state of the law is such that if she refuses to state the case, I can still go to the Supreme Court to force her to state the case. I am telling you that without meaning to impugn the magistrate's objectivity. The way things have been proceeding, the rulings she's been making, I have concluded that we are, in effect, almost wasting time in trying to pursue this matter at this level.
The case was simply an application not to seize the company's cash, merely to hold on to it for 3 months pending investigation. It was never intended that cases of this sort would be blown out of proportion like this. It's not a determination of guilt or innocence or seizure. At some point down the road, if you feel you have enough evidence, you then apply to keep it, to seize it. This was just to hold on to it for 3 months.
So after the Supreme Court they go, but it is anticipated that the matter will not be heard by the Supreme Court within the next 3 months. This would then make the FIU's application for further seizure before the magistrate court irrelevant.
He is effectively saying, the magistrate, you must put this to the Supreme Court. But in doing so, he acknowledged that by the time the Supreme Court hears the matter, it can't be done. By the time you put in all the arguments and have a hearing and a decision, 3 months will be long, long gone. So in a sense, as you rightly said, the case is over. It's effectively over. FIU wanted to hold on to the cash for 3 more months so they can develop their investigations, develop their case.
And they get to do that.
And they get to do that.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Will the Eruption nightclub in Ladyville be shuttered following the rape of a minor? News 5 has confirmed that the Belize Police Department is awaiting official shutdown documents following its recommendation to the Liquor License Board that the establishment's permit be pulled, even if only temporarily. The case, which is being likened to a fatal shooting in Hopkins earlier this year, in which minors were inside that nightclub, also zooms in on protocols at clubs and parenting. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Eruption nightclub located in Ladyville is at risk of being closed down, as a recommendation has been made by the Belize Police Department for its liquor license to be suspended following a case of rape. While the crime did not occur at the establishment, surveillance footage confirms that the rape victim, a 17-year-old female, was in fact inside the club imbibing. Earlier this week, Assistant Commissioner of Police Alden Dawson confirmed that the recommendation would have been forthcoming.
The Ladyville police is at the Eruption nightclub this time, retrieving the footage. And if that's the case that there was a minor, we'll then be requesting to the Liquor License Board to have the license suspended, as was done in the Hopkins with the Wabina nightclub where 2 persons were killed. Right? There was some minor in that club as well.
The Convention on the Rights of a Child seeks to ensure that Belize is a safe space to raise a child by 2030. Executive Director for the National Commission for Families and Children, Franisha Augustine, says that the unfortunate situation brings into sharp focus their parenting gaps.
I really and truly need to zone in more so on parenting. We need to ensure our parents, I am begging them to ensure that their children are safe. They need to ensure that they're safe. I know that these children are leaving school a little bit earlier than children left in the past. They're leaving school from the age of 16, they're graduating. So again, it's still their responsibility to ensure that their child is protected and safe. They are not legally allowed to be at establishments like these if they're under the age of 18. So yes, they're out of high school, but they have a role to play. They need to ensure that they take responsibility of their child or children.
The lack of proper checking mechanisms at these establishments has also exposed the minor to crimes like these.
When we look at the owners, that they have a part to play in that. They need to ensure that they do the necessary checks before they allow the children or youth or anybody at that into their establishment. Again, they can't say that, oh, the child doesn't look that age. It's their responsibility to ensure that they check the IDs of the individuals entering their establishment. And I am sure that there is a policy for that. I recall one occurred in Hopkins of recent as well. And I must say that I am, from the commission's point of view, we are saddened by this, simply because the proprietors, the parents, and even the greater public at large, we all have a part to play when it comes to ensuring that these children are at home, that they are safe, that they are protected.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Moments ago, police issued a statement saying that investigators have formally arrested and charged the manager of Eruption nightclub, 51-year-old Hector Cho and 44-year-old Myrna Estela Portillo, for the offense of admitting a person under 18 years of age in accordance with the Liquor License Act, Section 44, 3B, Chapter 150. When we return, Ministry of Health to acquire CT scan for KHMH. We'll tell you why after the break.
Say hello to DigiTV. Step into the world of digital entertainment. DigiTV gives you access to 100+ channels on your TV or your mobile device at unbeatable prices. Take your shows with you wherever you go. It's a new level of freedom. Enjoy your favorite entertainment, sports, family, Latin, and local channels. No more fighting for the TV remote. You can access whenever you want from 2 devices at the same time. DigiTV is for everyone. And with the fastest fiber and mobile networks in the country, you are guaranteed to have the best experience ever. There's no installation required. Sign up for the Max package for only $40 monthly and get the first 2 months for just $30. For a limited time, get 50% off a Fire Stick when you sign up. Download the DigiTV app from the Android or Apple stores. Just WhatsApp us at 608-8888 to sign up. It's that easy. Watch, experience, enjoy DigiTV today.
Life can be tough when a loved one suddenly departs. Dependents of the deceased are sometimes left alone to pick up the pieces and may be stranded financially. Fortunately, the Social Security Board provides survivor's benefit to ease the burden. Survivor's benefit is paid to a widow or widower, children under 18 years, or up to 21 years if attending school, or dependent parents. A survivor's benefit can be either a grant or a pension. Want to know more about survivor's benefit? Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
¿Reúnes los requisitos para la amnistía 2022? Esta es tu oportunidad de aplicar. En el sitio web www.immigration.gov.bz encontrarás una lista completa de todos los documentos necesarios para la amnistía según los criterios para los que eres elegible. Asegúrese de reunir todos los documentos generales y de respaldos necesarios y las traducciones necesarias. Haz tu cita en línea con cualquiera de nuestros centros de registro a nivel nacional. Ahí presentarás tus documentos y completarás las entrevistas requeridas. Después, se te entregará un recibo de aceptación. Mientras esperas una decisión sobre tu solicitud, puedes seguirlo en línea y saber cuándo será el pago en la oficina de tesorería del gobierno más cercana. Una vez completa, recibirás tu tarjeta de residencia permanente que muestra tu estado legal en Belice. Obtenga más información sobre la amnistía 2022 y cómo presentar tu solicitud en línea en www.immigration.gov.bz. Prepárate, el plazo de inscripción será del 2 de agosto al 30 de noviembre de 2022. Amnistía de Belice 2022. Continuemos construyendo Belice juntos.
How are we to measure the success of our lives? For many, an ordinary life should have the following: a job, a house, enough money to buy a new car. But what if we threw out the ordinary? What could escaping ordinary at our jobs do? How about for our marriages? What if I told you we could all be escaping ordinary? Join us as we begin our new series.
Everyone, including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
Turning back to the public health system and the challenges at the KHMH, Minister of Health and Wellness Kevin Bernard says that the ministry will acquire the CT scan for the National Referral Hospital. As you've just heard, for years now, patients in need of this service at the KHMH have had to risk their lives to travel to a private healthcare facility for this procedure. So what's the holdup? Minister Bernard says it's with the Contractor General.
We have stepped in and we have written to the Contractor General for us to ensure that we go through a selective bidding process, because it's urgent that we get the CT scan for KHMH. And I said, just as I've said before, we are going to ensure that that CT scan comes to country. The ministry will find the funding for us to be able to give that CT scan to KHMH. I believe that the people that goes to our public facilities are the ones that really cannot afford. And so we have to get those services provided by KHMH, our main referral hospital. And I guarantee the Belizean people, and I call again on the Contractor General for us to end the bureaucracy and let's get the process done. We have done what we need to do. We have submitted what we need to submit. We cannot continue to hold back the process, and we need to get that CT scan procured, bought, installed, and so that we could start to provide the service to the Belizean people.
Health and Wellness Minister Kevin Bernard also gave an update on the complaints coming out of the Southern Regional Hospital as it relates to the acquisition of medical supplies and pharmaceuticals. He confirmed that on Tuesday the situation was resolved and it was simply a case of miscommunication.
I reached out to Southern Regional Hospital for them to provide to me what was some of the issues that they were having. Now, there was apparently a miscommunication between the requisition being sent to CMS and CMS to the supplier. Those have been delivered. So I can say here today that most of the requests that was sent in by Southern Regional Hospital, including Punta Gorda, has been delivered yesterday. I got that notification yesterday morning, confirmed that medications. And like I said, while let me point this out. The whole process of the tender cycle that occurred, the signing at the end of August, has also caused some delays. This is the reason why I took to Cabinet 3 weeks ago a paper that will adjust that process and to see that in the next tender cycle that is improved.
Around this time last year, the COVID-19 pandemic had been raging as the country was going through yet another wave, with the Delta variant being the most active. There were also daily reports coming out of the Ministry of Health and Wellness on the casualties, as well as active cases. Fast track to now, the numbers have been down. Restrictions lifted and mass events are being held almost every other weekend. So is COVID a thing of the past for Belize? Health and Wellness Minister Kevin Bernard says residents should still remain cautious.
I would love to see an end to COVID, but COVID still exists. we can't run from the fact that we do have that as a still happening. Yes, numbers have been very low, but at the end of the day, it all depends on persons going to be tested. We know that the symptoms at this point in time has been very, very mild, but we can't shy away. But countrywide, worldwide, you're seeing a drop in the cases globally. And so in Belize, luckily, our active cases are in the double digits, and we want to keep it that way. And in fact, we would really want to see an end to this pandemic, which had caused a loss of life and had locked us out for 2 years and has created and impounded the same problems that we're talking about right now. While COVID has been an issue, we have to focus on many other things in the Ministry of Health. All these NCDs that are affecting our people, those are our focus as well. So I cannot say that COVID is done. COVID is still around. Countries around the world are still popping up 20,000 cases a day in some cases. We are lucky to have a very controlled number. And again, like I said, you only will know if people are really going out to test. That is not the case at this point in time.
Today at the Biltmore Plaza, the National One Health Platform for Belize was launched. It seeks to provide a space for data collected on health from a human, environment, and animal perspective. It is being spearheaded by the Pan American Health Organization in Belize and has the support from the Ministry of Health and Agriculture. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The health of humans and animals is vitally interlinked. A majority of emerging and endemic human diseases have their origins in animals, be they be transmitted directly or through food or the environment. Some 60% of emerging infectious diseases that are reported globally come from animals, both wild and domestic. And over 30 new human pathogens have been detected in the last 3 decades, 75% of which have originated in animals. So One Health is therefore a collaborative, multi-sectorial, transdisciplinary approach working at local, regional, and national levels with the goal of achieving optimal health outcomes, recognizing the interconnection between humans, animals, and our shared environment.
Stakeholders from health, agriculture, and the environment gathered for the launch of PAHO's One Health program that seeks to achieve a comprehensive look at the health of the country, not only from a human perspective, but also from the point of view of animal health and the environment and how they are all interconnected.
The focus has to be on that area where everything we do as humans can also have effects in our environment, or what we do on the environment can also have effect on our human health. What we do with our animals can also have effect on the human and the environment. So it encompasses all three in one. And so we want to be able to communicate with each other and share information with each other, because there are times, for example, if there's a disease born, a zoonotic disease that affects, and then you see later on it can affect human, it transmits to human, then the Ministry of Health comes in, BAHA has to come in, the environment comes in, because then all of these things have they intertwine with each other. And so for me, it's just for us to highlight where Belize is, and Dr. Jack rightly mentioned that Belize has been one of the only countries, or few of the countries, that have been able to really put this forward as well at an early stage.
This collaborative effort between all these stakeholders to protect people, animals, and the environment has been happening for years and was experienced with the recent avian influenza that had contaminated several farms in Orange Walk. Agriculture Minister Jose Abelardo Mai says that the platform is about preparedness and response to health threats in all three sectors.
It's about response and increased surveillance capabilities to address, from an agriculture perspective, and human health, zoonotic diseases, and other share other health threats at the human, animal, and environment interface, including plants. From an agriculture perspective, increasing surveillance of infectious diseases and other threats that affect the human, animal, and environment in the country of Belize is of critical importance to us.
The data collected on the platform will help to inform not only policymakers in Belize, but is not limited by borders and will allow for networking with other countries on best practices.
What the One Health platform will do is we'll share data. There's be a database where all three ministries that it will communicate with, and we will be able to share information of what is affecting our region, but at the same time, not our country, but at the same time share information that what is happening in the region, that what Belize is doing, and as well we can get from what they are doing to see that these things that does not affect Belize as well.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Just ahead, Deputy UDP leader Ugo Pat striking a commercial agreement for disputing parties in sugar impasse will be difficult.
From the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Rolling Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
In 2018, before I was diagnosed with cervical 4A, stage 4A cancer. First, it was the size of a grapefruit. That's what the doctor told me. The kidney got enlarged. I couldn't do any chemotherapy because of the kidney. So I had to do only radiation. And I did my first session of 25. And then when I finished with the 25 sessions, I went back, she checked it, and she saw 4 centimeters. And I went back for the next 10 days. And after that, when she checked it again, she said, oh, it's like nothing is there. It wasn't painful, but it's a machine that you go under, and you have like a big, like a circular, and that goes 5 times. It'll take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do the radiation, 1 session. Then you go back the next morning, another session. Well, I personally will highly recommend Galenia Hospital because of its good services, friendly staff, the doctors, very caring. Well, I just want to thank them for everything that they have done for me, you know, the staff and the doctor, especially Dr. Jamie, because she was my doctor for the radiation. No?
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Everyone, including including our elderly, needs to stay connected with their loved ones. With Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program, senior citizens can sign up for 10 megabytes of unlimited internet at a low monthly cost of $25. Citizens over 65 can sign up with a valid ID and receive free installation plus 1 month free on selected broadband plans. Visit a Smart showroom near you for more information on how you can enjoy Smart's Golden Citizen broadband program. Smart, bringing people together.
On Tuesday, we heard the issues that the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association and the American Sugar Refinery, Belize Sugar Industries, are facing just weeks before a new sugar crop is due to open. Both sides have been at a stalemate in solving their problems as partners in the sugar industry and are due to sign an agreement governing how their expenses and revenues should be split. But neither side wants to budge. The BSCFA contends that it has no confidence in the figures that the company has presented and demands more documents to conduct more in-depth analyses. They are also convinced that they are entitled to more out of the collective pie that they share in sugar sales. ASR-BSI, meanwhile, is saying that it has shared all the relevant documents and there simply isn't anything more that can be had from the sales. On Tuesday, ASR-BSI's Director of Finance, Sean Chavarria, told News 5 that the financial statements show that Belcogen, which supplies energy to the national grid, is operating at a loss because the tariff it receives does not include any value for the byproduct, bagasse. The problems that the disputing parties have laid out are nothing new. In fact, Deputy UDP leader Ugo Pat, who is also a cane farmer, told News 5 today successive governments have outlined these problems that need to be fixed.
The commercial agreement between the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association and ASR-BSI, it dates back to, if I'm not mistaken, to 2002. But what the farmers are saying, look, you promised us that you will have a reduction in expenses of X dollars. When they moved on to Big Rig, additional expenses were added. And so all of this is just adding up. I think, Marion, that at this point in time, we have to look at this commercial agreement. It has to be a revamping of everything, getting out of that concept. I don't know that at this point in time, this profit-sharing agreement is one that is that we would want to entertain. If you ask my personal opinion as a cane farmer, I have always been of the opinion that if I'm selling a particular ton of cane, I want to be paid for that cane at the time that I deliver that cane. Once that cane goes into the factory, it's weighed, then whatever happens thereafter, it is the responsibility of the millers. All I want to know is that I am going to be paid X dollars for my particular ton of cane, but that is not what we have at this point in time. A commercial agreement, Mr. Ali, is one where you will have opposing parties coming to find an even quantum. That is going to be difficult. You're talking about the millers fighting their own economic interests and the farmers fighting for their own economic interests. So it has to come to a point where both would have to meet, and obviously the government plays a very important role in this. It is not only the BACFA. Directly and indirectly, we're talking about some 50,000 people that will be affected if we don't get the issues solved.
We caught up with Agriculture Minister Abelardo Mai today, and he informed that the impasse between the two parties has now gotten to the attention of the cabinet. He described the sugar impasse as delicate and sensitive and was cautiously optimistic that there is a feeling that things have begun to move in the right direction.
The members of the cabinet were very concerned that this is going on for a very long time. And they've given certain directives that I must do, and we're working on that at this time. The volumes of correspondences between BACFA and the ASR is a lot. I want to say this cautiously, But I believe that we are progressing in this week slowly. At least I've seen that ASR has moved from a position of saying we don't need mediation to let me rethink about mediation to now, okay, let's go to mediation. So we're moving. At this point, we're at that little junction, that little point where we're saying, okay, let us determine who would be the mediators. Okay. And when we have the list of mediators, we will select who the mediators are. So we're at that point right now, and my hope is that we will have a commercial agreement before the start of the next crop. Farmers believe that BSI has played a delayed tactic. First, waiting out. They believe, hoping that farmers would have left the association and go to other associations. This is what farmers believe. They are convinced that because of the influence of BSI holding back on the fair trade monies, that farmers would have further left. That is not what happened. And so now the crop is to start on the first week of December, and the BSCFA is still there and still fighting their ground. We have to respect the resilience of the cane farmers, but must also bear in mind that ASR is a business company to make money, and nothing is wrong with that once it is done fairly. The farmers are treated fairly, and so is ASR.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.